Make Comrade Show. Wait. Comrade Nnamdi Kanu. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us. Follow us and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show. Make Comrade Show. Wait. Comrade Nnamdi Kanu. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us. Follow us and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show. Make Comrade Show. Wait. Comrade Nnamdi Kanu. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us. Follow us and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show. Make Comrade Show. Wait. Comrade Nnamdi Kanu. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us. Follow us and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show. Make Comrade Show. Wait. Comrade Nnamdi Kanu. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us. Follow us and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show. Make Comrade Show. Wait. Comrade Nnamdi Kanu. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all Nigerians and friends of Nigeria across the world. This is the Comrade Show, and it is the segment we call Hard Gist on the Comrade Show. My name is Comrade Nnamdi Kanu, and like I said yesterday, of course, it's no longer news that the leader of IPOB, talking of Maxi, Nnamdi Kanu, has been arrested, brought to Nigeria yesterday. He was arraigned in the Federal High Court of Nigeria. And of course, information about this arrest has been quite sketchy, in that the Nigerian government has, for whatever reason, been unwilling, I would say, to reveal to Nigerians, how Nnamdi Kanu was arrested. And of course, the way he was arrested is a very topical matter. From many quarters, people are beginning to accuse the government of Nigeria for breaching international protocols, as it were, when it's got to do with something like this. Of course, I can almost, authoritatively reveal to you that Kanu has speculated that he may have been arrested in the UK, with fingers pointing to the UK government. Information we are getting is more and more revealing that Kanu was not arrested in the UK. Like I said yesterday, this is one matter I want to stay on top of. It's important so that we begin to get certain perspectives of this matter very straight and very clear. If you are joining me, I want to enjoin you to please share this broadcast. I have some breaking information as to how Kanu was, arrested. As a matter of fact, I've had my ears on the ground. We've been talking to certain human beings who matter within the system and all of that. Unfortunately, there are conflicting reports about how he was arrested. There's the report that he was arrested in Kenya. There's another report that says he was arrested in Ethiopia. As a matter of fact, another claim, was saying that he was arrested in Kenya, en route to Cameroon, to stabilize, IPOB that had greatly been affected. I'm talking of ESN, greatly been affected based on the onslaught of the Nigerian, military, on the ESN, body in Nigeria. And of course, with a number of persons, commanders of the ESN being killed, many being displaced and all of that, there's information that came out that Kanu was actually, coming to Cameroon, and of course, there was a flag off at Kenya airport where he was held, and the Nigerian government was alerted and all of that, So all of this information have been flying around and all that. Now, there's another information as to how he was arrested. I tend to want to believe this a bit more because of the source is coming from. A source that is very close to the office of the Attorney General of Nigeria. Now, everything I'm telling you right now, there is none of them that we can independently verify until the government of Nigeria comes out, clear to let us know this is exactly what has happened. However, one thing that we are sure here is that international protocols on international arrests, may have been breached by the government of Nigeria. And of course, we're equally hearing, that the British Council in Nigeria is willing and open to provide support for Nnamdi Kanu, but provide some service for him as a British national. There is something that I'm going to try to open to us here, in this broadcast, okay, which the Nigerian government is already stylishly working to ensure that the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu does not raise some sort of diplomatic role between the Nigerian government and the British government, and I'm going to explain that shortly. Meanwhile, the information as to how he was arrested, okay, like I said, let me establish again that nobody can independently verify it, but I am making this broadcast because this information is coming from a source that is very close to the office of the Attorney General of the Federation of Nigeria, which means that some who had gone around to make some people at the lower cadre get some of this information, and they are able to share with us, and all that. Now, the information states that Kanu was actually arrested in Brazil. Now, what was Kanu doing in Brazil? That was a question that some of us asked. What was Kanu doing in Brazil? Okay, now this, okay, I am when I got this information, I was wowed by it. If it is true, okay, if it is true, the information states that the Nigerian government had deployed a Kanu had always been, a subject of interest. And the Nigerian government had deployed so many things on the ground internationally. They knew that they could not arrest Kanu in the UK or in some of these other, European states, as it were. And so they have been looking for ways, information, okay, to see that Kanu gets out of his comfort zone, either in the UK or the US or wherever in Europe and all of that, so that they can actually, swoop on him, as it were. Now, it is to the extent that certain security operatives, okay, in these countries of Europe, okay, had been, giving some stipends regularly, okay, to ensure that they provide necessary information, whenever Kanu is leaving the comfort zone, going to, countries that we can, some people can easily call banana republics when it comes to, having to arrest people unjustly without any, protocols being followed and all of that. Meanwhile, there, according to the information, okay, Kanu, according to the information, is one man too who is very much thrilled by, by the opposite sex and all of that. And so, a lady, a very beautiful lady, was said to have been used to lure Kanu out of his comfort zone in the United Kingdom. Now, this is the information. And the information went further to say that according to other sources linked to this information, that they could report to us that, Chief Nnamdi Kanu, it's not the first time. He occasionally leaves his place of abode, okay, and travels, you understand, for some escapade here and there. Goes, 24 hours after, 48 hours after, he's back to his place of abode and all of that. Now, this we cannot verify, you understand? But this is the report that is coming from a source that, I may have no reasons for now to doubt, because of how close this source is to where the matter is happening at the level of Aso Rock, as it were. Now, according to this source, there was this arrangement for Kanu to meet with one, a beautiful lady, and the arrangement was that, let Kanu meet with this beautiful lady in Brazil, okay? Some of those escapades that some of us men are involved with, you understand what I'm saying, and all that, and that it is in the course of this, Kanu flew out of, the UK to Brazil, okay, to meet with this beautiful woman. Now, why he's meeting with this beautiful woman, okay, that against another matter in itself. Well, is it for business? But the source was able to actually just say that it's one of those, Chidima-like kind of arrangement, as it were. You understand what I'm saying now? And all that, But we cannot verify this. But the important thing was that as soon as Kanu left his comfort zone in Europe, the Nigerian authorities were flagged off by their agents on their payroll, monitoring Kanu day and night, monitoring his movement and everywhere. They were tipped off to say, man, this guy is leaving Europe and is on the way to Brazil. And all necessary information were put together to know exactly where he was going in Brazil and all of that. Now, the information went further to say that it was because that matter was flagged off. That was why the journey that the president of Nigeria was supposed to have embarked onto the UK, on his medical follow-up, when he was informed, he wanted to be at home to receive Kanu. He wanted to be sure that Kanu is in Nigeria before he can rearrange his journey for his medical follow-up, as it were. Now, this is what this information has said. And that it was when Kanu arrived at one of those, 5-star hotels in Brazil, where he was to meet with this lady and all these things. But little did Kanu know that this lady herself, okay, had been bought over by the security operatives of the Nigerian state, the DSS, the SSS, all of them, and all of that. And immediately Kanu stepped into the hotel and was relaxing and waiting for the subject to arrive. The entire hotel had been bought over by the Nigerian government. This is as alleged by this source, as I speaking with you right now. Immediately, the Nigerian security, service and some of the Brazilian security operatives scooped on Kanu, as it were. And of course, as soon as they got Kanu down, what they did, which is even, as a matter of fact, this matter needs to be investigated properly. You understand what I'm saying? Now, they tranquilized him. You understand? And immediately backed him, dragged him into a Cadillac. The source mentioned a Cadillac with, a jet, a private jet already prepared, waiting. From the Cadillac, he was bundled into the private jet and was flew straight to Nigeria. Now, this operation, according to the source, because the operation was to happen, the president was alerted And the president insisted that he was going to cancel his trip to the UK for his medical follow-up because he wants to see that this matter, was done with. Now, if this is true, there's a problem here. The problem is that Nigeria has breached, the international protocols on arrest like this, particularly when somebody becomes, as Kanu is, you understand, a huge subject of interest to a country where he can no longer just stroll into and all of that. Now, because there are rules to extradition rules and all of that. Normally, there are extradition hearings and all of that. None of that took place. The man was, according to this source, was bundled, umarudikoed out of Brazil, according to this source. Now, this is another source saying that Kanu was actually arrested in Brazil, not in Kenya, as it's being speculated right now. Neither is it in Ethiopia or in Cameroon or Gabon. All of these have been, speculated. Now, which of these things, these stories, are we going to say is true? Okay? Well, there is no we can independently verify except the government equally come out or Kanu is able to reveal to his lawyers what exactly, had transpired. Now, these are the only ways we can actually get, the authentic truth in this matter. Now, I found the issue of Kenya or Cameroon or Ethiopia, I find it a bit loose. Because with somebody like Kanu, the caliber of Kanu, to be honest, I believe very strongly that Kanu is smarter than that. It's much more intelligent than that. He understands a lot of how all of these diplomatic matters work, and of course how international security operations work. Particularly again when I played a video here yesterday. I can play it again, where it was reported by one of the high-ranking members of his own cabinet to say that he spent, about $750,000. They spent that, disbursed that for the service of a consultant. You understand? So you expect that a man like Kanu will always consult with his consultant, and all when things like this has to happen, so I can be better advised on what to do and all of that. And I know it's surrounded by so many top intelligent people who are advising him and all of that. But this Brazil story seemed to capture some truth in the matter. Now, the human being, who was revealing this information, went ahead to say that we could observe that Kanu was still, trying to, even when he was taken to court, he was drowsy because the what's it called, the medication or whatever they had used to tranquilize him, okay, was still very much, in effect, even when he was going to court. You understand what I'm saying? And when he got to Nigeria, the man was still drowsy, unable to really get himself, know himself, what is happening to him, as it were. The source went further to reveal that, when he woke up for the first time, and found that he was in Nigeria in chains, he burst into tears. He was crying. It was some of the security operatives there that were even consoling him, that he should just try to get a good lawyer to defend him and all of that. They said he started crying, knowing fully well that he may have made some mistake as far as this matter is concerned. Now, is it true that Kanu actually flew out of his comfort zone in Europe to to Brazil? That we cannot tell. Now, is it true that Kanu flew, because of a woman to Brazil? That we cannot tell. But these things, if Kanu really, as described, is a man who likes, heavy duty in the front and the back, like some of us men do, and all of that, some of those things can make one crazy. It was one of the things we discussed, when we had our own, comrade and friends on Sunday, last Sunday, That means a man needs some level of diligence. You understand what I'm saying? Now, to be able to, withstand, the evil that comes with women. Now, the story of Ethiopia, okay, very much likened to that of Kenya. You understand? It's equally flying. You understand? Now, we cannot independently verify any of these stories because the other story of Ethiopia says that Kanu had actually gone to Africa and he was actually going to Cameroon. Okay. Apologies, this video, this streaming was interrupted shortly. Sorry for the interruption. I don't know what happened just now. Just the internet just went off, but it's back on again. So please, now the reason why Kanu, one of the reasons why I'm personally picking holes in this African story is this. Now, Kanu is a very sophisticated guy. He has run IPOB, from abroad. He is everything about ESN, as it were. The truth of the matter is that these things, ESN was put together, the same way so many other structures of IPOB, have been put together. Kanu has agents everywhere, trusted allies everywhere to help run some things. Kanu, to be honest, didn't need to come down to Africa or attempt to come to Cameroon or to Ethiopia or to come to Ethiopia to get to do things in Nigeria. You understand? Because he had the structure. IPOB, like we understand, is very well structured, as it were. Now, given how things had become lately, to be honest, if Kanu had actually gone to Africa in an attempt to want to go and restructure some things with ESN in Nigeria, then that means, there's a problem with those advising him. Okay, on the issue of advice, okay, the source went further to say that Kanu traveling to Brazil, okay, was strongly aided by a couple of persons inside cabinet who knows the in and out of Kanu. They aided the journey, did everything. They worked with, the security operatives in Europe that had sold out. You understand what I'm saying? To ensure that Kanu agrees to travel. And that the journey to this Brazil, the discussion will be on for months. Okay? And that Kanu only just said, okay, let me just squeeze out this time to see this young lady. Now, all of these we cannot independently verify, but there are some information flying out there even as we speak and all of that. And so we thought we could share this. Now, I said earlier that the arrest of Kanu is one that could spark some sort of diplomatic role between the Nigerian government and the British government, because we've established that long ago that Kanu is a British Nigerian. He was a British passport and all of that. Now, can Kanu actually be arrested illegally like this? Because somehow people can begin to spot illegality, particularly when the federal government of Nigeria is not coming plain and clean on how he was arrested. So illegality may be one matter that the world wants to talk about as far as this matter is concerned. You will listen. I want to play this footage of Malami. There's a point I want us to get from this footage, which is one point, which Nigeria knows that this matter could actually spark some diplomatic role between Nigeria and the UK. Let us take a listen carefully, very carefully.
Nigeria, in order to continue facing trial after disappearing while on bail regarding 11 count charge against him. Recent steps taken by the federal government so to the intersection of the fugitive Kanu on Sunday, the 27th day of June 2021. Nnamdi Kanu was born on the 25th September 1967 at Afrauku, Abia State, Nigeria, and indeed a holder of Nigerian passport number AO805136 827, first issued on the 17th October 2013 at Festa.
Now, the point I wanted to bring out here, okay, they talked about this, about that. They now said he's a Nigerian citizen holding passport number XYZ, first issued so and so year. Now, they wanted to use this statement to equally establish that before you come say, now your citizen, he is a Nigerian. This is my passport number. This is now when we issue one. They want to establish that, so that by the time Britain probably wants to come and say, man, this is our citizen, the issue of what citizen is Kanu become first an issue to limit the influence of the United Kingdom on this case that has to do with Kanu. That was very strategic. They had to make that public announcement, okay, and announce that this man in our custody is a Nigerian with also passport number and all of that. But be that as it may, even it is after this statement that we are beginning to hear too that the British, consular department in Nigeria, okay, they are expressing the willingness, okay, to provide support for Kanu while in custody. The extent of that support we may not be able to ascertain, but if the United Kingdom is expressing willingness to provide support, as a matter of fact, some MPs have discussed the matter, and of course they have discussed it in a positive light to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu gets proper support as a British national in the custody of the Nigerian state. Now, to what extent this is going to help his case, we do not know. Okay, but one thing that we are sure of is that the man is open to fair hearing, and of course, we believe very strongly that good lawyers could have actually argued his case. I went further yesterday to try to find out the issue of his jumping bail. Does that end his case? It doesn't. It doesn't at all, because the reason or reasons why he jumped bail, can actually be firmly established, and he may actually, have a credible reason why he jumped bail and all of that. So that does not end his case. That does not prove anything against him, as it were, and all of that. People can jump bail for different reasons, particularly when their life is at risk and all of that. So if that is firmly established, it should be taken by the court that anybody in the situation could actually jump bail when it comes to that situation, as it were. Now, what the lawyers are going to do, we don't know, but we hope that enough resources are deployed to get the best brains to represent this man, Nnamdi Kanu, right in custody. Like I said, now the reason why personally I am very keen on this matter is because in Spanish language they say "con manos limpio," with clean hands. He who must come to equity must come with clean hands. The Nigerian government, is a government that is of multiple standards. The attention being given to Kanu today, the similar attention is being given to the excesses of Boko Haram, to the excesses of killer herdsmen, to the excesses of bandits that are terrorizing and killing Nigerians today. Probably some of us will be realizing, okay, it's normal, but you cannot be treating this with this kind of glove and the other one, nothing is happening. Okay? A terrorist sympathizer, one that we can even call a terrorist himself, Shehu Gumi, is gallivanting all around Nigeria and he's not been brought to book. He has even threatened the Nigerian state. He has said that the terrorists, giving reasons why they must do what they do. He has said that they should not be called bandits. He has said they are victims themselves. These are people who have killed thousands of Nigerians all across. And yet, he's not being persecuted. As a matter of fact, why are we going to be surprised? We can't be surprised, because the last time, just a few days ago, what's it called? He was invited by the DSS Why they invited him, we don't know. But he came out and told Nigerians, I think I'll get that footage somewhere, told Nigerians that everything he does, the Nigerian government don't know where the terrorists are. Shehu Gumi knows where the terrorists are. He goes to see them. He takes pictures with them. He dines with them. He comes to us and tells us that they should be granted amnesty. He comes to Nigerians and tells Nigerians that Nigerian security operatives should not be killing bandits and terrorists because they are victims themselves. That is Shehu Gumi, an Islamic cleric. That is him. Yet, this same Nigerian government has not asked any questions about this. If somebody else was in this position, believe me, it would have been in by now. So what is happening in this country? Why do we have one kind of justice for some people and another kind of justice for others? Why? This is why we are concerned. This is why some of us want to establish that Kanu was arrested illegally. And such illegality must not be overlooked by the international community. Such illegality must not be overlooked by stakeholders who are involved in this case. Yes, as a claim, Kanu has a case to answer. Yes. But how did you bring Kanu into Nigeria? Remember, many years ago, under the same Buhari, in 1984, under the same Buhari, he desperately wanted to get Umaru Diko back to Nigeria. The same thing they did to Kanu right now was what they did to Umaru Diko. The only difference is that they did not succeed with that of Umaru Diko. They wanted to whisk Umaru Diko away from the place of abode abroad. They had drugged him, probably tranquilized him, or put him in one form of this thing or the other, and all of that. But somehow, the security operatives at the time, they were alert to their responsibility and wanted to check what was in the box that they were transporting this man with, and found out that it was a human being. And that truncated what Buhari was to do then. So what they did not succeed in doing with Umaru Diko is what we can now firmly allege they have done with Nnamdi Kanu. The man was weak. The pictures we have seen that they've brought up, look at him. This is not Nnamdi Kanu in his real self. Looking at this picture. Weak, even feeling sleepy. Look at him. Look at in the pictures I'm showing you right now. So there is so much illegality that has embraced the arrest of this man. And that is why Malami, the Attorney General of Nigeria, came out to say all he could say about his arrest. But he did not state how he was arrested. Because normally, when an international fugitive is to be arrested, or is to be repatriated to face any this thing, it's not the first time. It's to be extradited. There is always usually an extradition hearing in the country where he was arrested. That is the international standard. Where was the hearing held for the case of Kanu? How was it done? The Nigerian government needs to come out clean. They cannot leave us to be speculating. They cannot leave us to be getting pieces of information here and there that we cannot verify. How was he arrested? It must start from there. Before you slam me with treason, you slam me with this, you slam me with that he would defend. We want to know how you have arrested, because at the end of the day, there is no one wrong that can, there's no one wrong that can justify another wrong. This is what this case is about. We have the Nigerian government has got cases against Kanu. You've said he's facing terrorism. What's it called? Illegal possession of firearms. Managing an unlawful what's it called? Organization. Even as far as a treasonable felony and all of that. Okay, these are all wrongs for which he's going to defend himself. But how did you arrest him? How? Because until found guilty, until proven guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction, The man is innocent of all of these allegations. Which means that if the federal government of Nigeria cannot establish legality behind how Kanu was arrested and extradited to Nigeria, if there's illegality in that front, on that front, it means that the Nigerian government has committed an international error, has committed an international crime against humanity. This is where the matter is. This is where some focus should be. How was this man arrested? We demand to know. We have a right to know. The world has a right to know. Kanu is not a fish in a small river. All global headlines right now, CNN, everybody, BBC is talking about it. Nigerian separatist leader of Biafra has been arrested. Nigerian disability. Why are you not asking? Why are you not giving us how he was arrested? And I think that the international media should not connive with the Nigerian government. We must know the truth. Malami must be squeezed. The Nigerian government must be squeezed for us to know how he was arrested, so that we can establish that firmly. There is no evidence that the man strolled into Nigeria. There is no evidence that the man bought a ticket and flew to Nigeria and thereafter he was arrested. There is none. So there is no way one wrong justifies another wrong. There is none, particularly when the man is not yet proven, guilty. So these are the points. So Nigerian people, we are getting conflicting reports. One is that he was arrested in Kenya, in Cameroon. One even stated Gabon. A lot of people are saying in Ethiopia. And that was the Ethiopia intelligence community that alerted the Nigerian government that they have heard him, where he was on transit, moving from that place to try to go to Cameroon and all of that. So we don't know what all this is about. However, the one I just relayed just now that I was detailed on was that he was arrested in Brazil. Arrested in Brazil, tranquilized in Brazil, put in a box in Brazil, put in a Cadillac in Brazil. They drove to an airport where a private jet was waiting that brought him to Nigeria, according to this source that we cannot independently verify. So we are going to be on top of this matter. Personally, I'm very much interested to know what breach Nigeria has committed in the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu. This is important. It's good we know, because there are certain things synonymous with the leadership of this man, General Muhammadu Buhari. As a general in 1984, he did a similar thing to Umaru Diko, though he didn't succeed. A similar thing is exactly what we cannot point fingers at, except they come out to prove us wrong. So we can effectively say that Kanu was illegitimately, clandestinely Umaru Diko'd to Nigeria to face trial. He should face a trial because there are charges against him, no doubt about that. But there is no way one wrong should justify another wrong. There is none. In this case, if the Nigerian government cannot come out clean to let the world know how Kanu was arrested, it therefore means that we can further speculate that the Nigerian government has committed a very huge wrong against international treaty of how arrests like this should be made. And if that is the case, many people would argue that Kanu should be returned back to where he was arrested and let there be an extradition treaty, a hearing in the court of competent jurisdiction to determine whether the man should be extradited to Nigeria, not using this kind of mago kind of way. Because at the end of the day, when you do this with Kanu, you succeeded. How many more people are you going to do this with? In the name of say you want me to come face justice for Nigeria. And I need to put the British government, on the alert as well with this broadcast. It is important that what is right should be done, and proper justice should prevail as far as this matter is concerned. On that note, my people, it's as much as I want to relieve. Now, on top of the matter, whenever other matters come up, believe me, we're going to be back on. My name is Comrade Nnamdi Kanu. It's the hard gist on the Comrade Show. And I want to enjoin you, if you are watching us on YouTube, on Facebook, subscribe to our channel, follow our channel. Of course, this and many more national matters we will be discussing. And don't forget, on Sunday, we are going to be having a very high-powered delegation to discuss this matter, by the grace of God, on our program, The Comrade and Friends. For now, I want to say bye. We are still on top of this matter. Bye for now.
Follow us and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show. The Comrade Show with Comrade Nnamdi Kanu, live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us. Follow us and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show. The Comrade Show with Comrade Nnamdi